Dear viewers, welcome to our TV show Leadership and Innovation, a joint venture between Academy of Leadership Science in Switzerland and RTV Alpsay in Sweden. My name is Nadia Boersch. I'm a doctoral candidate. This show has an educational, motivating, and innovative character, so our aim is to contribute to our human beings to grow. That's why we always have guests in this show who have achieved a lot in science and practice. And our guest today, it is Nadia Boersch, that is a Master of Science and expert in leadership from Austria. Nadia, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Berta. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Thank you for accepting this invitation. To give you a quick introduction to our viewers, so Nadia trains leaders and top executives, in particular women, on leadership and emotional intelligence with her powerful coach and the horse as well. She has made it her mission to create powerful female leaders that are magnetic, full of energy, empowered, consequent, and confident. Nadia had spent 10 years in marketing position in Fortune 500 companies such as the Nestle, Philip Morris, and Uber as well. Before founding a coaching company and training leaders in leadership globally, she also speaks on stage globally about leadership, manifestation, and branding marketing. So, dear Nadia, for one more time, welcome to our TV show and Innovation.
Thank you so much. Super excited.
So to go to the first questions, we have female empowerment is one of the hot topics at the moment, and both in the corporate and the entrepreneurial world. How do you see the current situation of women rise in a global context?
So what we see at the moment is empowering women is so important. It's such a hot topic at the moment. And what we see as well is we speak about a lot of the external factors, like we speak about the glass ceiling, and we speak about what can corporations do, what can the government do, what kind of possibilities and opportunities can we create women. And all of this is extremely important, but what I want to focus on is really the internal factors of empowering women. So what can we do to empower each and every single woman on this world, no matter where they're at, to take them to the next level? Because a self-led woman or a self-led woman can do anything. She can achieve anything. A woman that leads herself and knows her worth is so extremely powerful. And this is where I think we should also have a lot of conversations around this topic, not only about the external factors, but what can each and every woman do herself in order to lead and rise up as a self-led leader.
Absolutely. And all of those answers that you give it to us in the first question, you say that we have a power. So what does the ideal female leader that look like in your opinion?
Well, I asked myself that question for a very long time, because coming from the corporate world and being a very aspiring woman, and I wanted to have a career and I wanted to have a fast career. So I was looking for examples of super powerful female leaders that were self-led, that were authentic, and that also, a woman that had it all, like had a good work-life balance, a woman that was a powerful leader, a woman that was self-led and empowered and had a family and was happy in a relationship. And I started looking in the corporate world for this kind of woman, and to be very honest, I was quite disappointed that it was very hard to find this kind of woman, because what I saw was a lot of men, or actually a lot of women that are men in female bodies, because what women experience a lot of the time, in order to be recognized as a powerful leader, they had to become men, or they had to embody a lot of masculine features. And this was something that I found isn't really a match and doesn't fit. So my question was, where does the feminine energetics come in? Where does the female power come in? And how can women be powerful yet humble? How can women be more self-led? How can women have this amazing emotional intelligence that walk the talk and that don't have to become men in order to be perceived as powerful, where you have women that just come into the room and everybody's like, who is that woman? And that for me is an empowered leader, an empowered female leader, and those are the qualities that I look for in a powerful female leader.
See, and there are very powerful tools so far that all of you mentioned. You mentioned that you have been working in corporate, and you just talked that topic a little bit, how it is to be side that actually was facing. But what are the roles do actually energetics play in a female leadership?
Well, everything basically is a reflection of who you are. You know, it's like the whole world mirrors who you are. And when we step as a woman, when we step into very masculine energy, then this is also what is reflected back to us. So we're no longer natural and in our natural state, and we're not, you know, appearing in a logic way. We become very unnatural. And so when we step into feminine energy, and when we step into the energetics, and when we realize like the energy we have and the energy we embody and the energy we give out is what is reflected back to us, that is when the fun really starts.
But the fun when you really starts, I totally agree with you, but how actually goes this into teaching leadership with the horses?
So my story was that you know, I was always quite confident in also in the corporate world. So it was quite easy for me to step up as a leader. By God, I had some very important lessons I had to learn becoming a manager at an early age, and stepping into the management team is quite an early age. But what was interesting is that people always ask me, how come you're so confident? Like, how come you can just step up and give a presentation without any preparation? How come you can lead in a way without having any experience before, and leading from zero to a team of 4 people? Like, how does that work? And my answer was always, well, I learned it from the horses, because when you're not an embodied leader with the horses, they basically do whatever they want with you. So I had to learn from a very early age how to become an embodied and a powerful leader, and how to be confident, and how to be 100% sure of what I was doing. And so I took all these teachings that I was learning as of childhood in order to apply that in the course of my lifetime. And the more I did, the more I looked back and, wow, you know, I actually learned this from the horses, and I learned this from the horses, and I learned so many tools and so many things I learned from the horses. And so I stepped into doing an education with called horse assisted coaching, and then I started teaching other women how to become a powerful leader, and how to, you know, step into these energetics and all the things. And I've started working with companies as well, and doing team buildings. And yeah, so that's basically how I started with that. And I was very honored as well that Professor Chitaku also participated in one of those workshops. And we spoke a lot about what happened in this workshop, and the power that the horses have in order to teach all aspects of leadership, emotional intelligence. We speak about the competency model that Professor Chitaku has been working on. And, you know, this has been such an inspiring piece as well for me to go back to that, and to speak to him about and incorporate that into my teachings as well.
That's very great. So you have something in common. You have done kind of experience together, especially that you mentioned as well in the paper that Professor Chitaku was working on that. And it's quite interesting, all of the experience that you have been starting with the horses, the courses he was attending. And it's very, very interesting. But how can horses identify a strong leader, and what lessons can leaders learn from the horses, from your opinion in this case?
So what's interesting is that a horse herd has a leader, the alpha male and the alpha female. And these two need to work together, and there's a hierarchy in a horse herd. And the leader is identified not by who is the bully, you know, who comes in and says, I'm the strongest here now and I'm the biggest one, but it is about emotional intelligence, about energy, about who has the most resources, who is the smartest one, who knows where the food is, who knows where the water is. So it can be the oldest horse, but it doesn't have to be the oldest horse that is the alpha leader in a horse herd. And horses can read your energy. So horses can read your energy level, so they can identify fear, anger, love, confidence, security, and on all aspects. So it doesn't matter on what leadership scale we're looking at. I usually like to take the one from Abraham Hicks as a leadership scale that I reference to. And the horses can really read every single energy within milliseconds. Like they feel it and they reflect it and they mirror it immediately. So that means when you're exhibiting fear, for example, they will immediately show you. So it's the only way really that you can experience practicing leadership in real time, because the horses give you an unfiltered, non-bullshit feedback, and it's non-emotional and not personal, because they just react to your emotions and your energetics and how secure in you and what you're doing. Are you a powerful leader? Can I trust you? Because at the end of the day, the survival of the horse depends on following a powerful leader. Because if you have an unpowerful leader that would lead this gang, let's say the bully would lead the gang, first of all, the whole herd would lose a lot of energy, which is something, for example, we see in the corporate world as well. If you have a bully at the top, the entire corporate loses a lot of energy in this process. And when we have an empowered leader at the top, then the survival of the fittest is secured. This is what the horses are looking for, and this is what we're also looking for in an empowered leader.
Dear viewers, we can go just for quick minutes for advertising, and we will be back with Nadia as a guest. Thank you. Mirë se vini në Akademinë e Shkencave të Lidershipit në Zvicër në Zürich. Misioni ynë është të bëjmë liderët e lider kompetent për një botë më të mirë. Ne ofrojmë kurse dhe programe 100% të bazuara në evidenca shkencore, 100% online, rreth lidershipit, inteligjencës emocionale, mendimi strategjik e të tjera. Shërbimet tona janë të fokusuara në fushat e biznesit, politikës, arsimit të lartë, shëndetësisë, informatikës dhe sportit. Në gjithashtu ofrojmë konsulta, trajnime dhe këshilla për individ të organizata dhe profileve të ndryshme. Ju mund të na kontaktoni përmes emailit info@als-edu.ch ose përmes faqes tonë të internetit www.als-edu.ch. I see. And all of those courses, let's say, or the workshops that I've been attending and give you this kind of, let's say, a good knowledge and as well an experience with the horses. But what leadership lessons from horses are particularly relevant for the woman in this case, or what actually you learned in the workshop during, particularly on this challenge that you have?
Right. So what is extremely interesting is that when I have women that come to me to the workshops and that I work with, I show them the alpha female. I show them what the alpha female embodies, how the alpha female acts in the herd, what the alpha female does. And so this gives them the opportunity to learn and copy and embody exactly the skills, the emotional intelligence, and the energetics behind the alpha female. So that's why when I work with women, I always work with female horses. And that way, the women learn to become more confident. They learn to see, when am I in the right energetic field? When am I also more feminine? So when is my feminine and masculine balanced? So when am I not overly masculine or not overly feminine, but when am I in a good balance? And how can I appear so confident that the horses will follow me as by an invisible hand? So you don't have to do anything. If you embody this confidence, the horses just follow you whatever you're doing and wherever you go. When you have such a high energetic frequency and you're an embodied leader, the horses can show you that. And that is why it's so powerful for women, because a lot of women don't know what it feels like when they're confident. They don't know what it feels like when they are an empowered leader. And this is the magic of the horses, that they can show you exactly your sweet spot of, hey, this is what it looks like. Like, now I feel empowered. And the horses show you that immediately and mirror it back to you in a second. And it's like, there, this is it. This is now exactly it. And because they have felt it, because they know what it feels like, they can replicate this feeling in their everyday life. They can replicate this feeling every single moment. It doesn't matter whether that's in their private life, whether that's in the corporate life, whether they're an entrepreneur, whether they need to go on stage. And they can therefore become that woman that enters a room where everybody is like, oh my God, who is that?
I see. But I think this is such a powerful lesson that you have learned, and it makes you very good on that, especially when you want to share this with us and to gain all of those knowledge, and especially that you're using in the workshop to train women to become empowered and, of course, to get out of the comfort zone. I just have one question that I wanted to ask you regarding that. You mentioned the corporate experience that you had. Will you suggest especially the woman, to stay in the corporate world for a long time, for a short time, or as much as they want, and what kind of goals actually they wanted to have in life?
I think, honestly, this is a decision everybody has to, do on their own. I think for me, I love the corporate world. I loved corporate. I love being on the career path. I love moving up the career ladder. I enjoyed it a lot. But for me, the calling to do something on my own and working with women was so much stronger that I couldn't resist that pull anymore. So it depends on, what lights you up. What is your purpose? What do you enjoy? If you enjoy going to corporate every day and it lights you up like a firecracker and you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And I wake up every morning and I'm excited and I'm motivated and I have a team that I love and I've got people around me that I love and I have clients that I love. Amazing. Like, for sure, continue being in corporate. But if it doesn't empower you and if it doesn't enlighten you anymore, I think you should really question whether you want to continue doing what you're doing.
So, dear Nadia, we're approaching at the end of our show. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers? Any input, any thought, or any tip that you would like to give to all of our viewers who are following this interview with you?
So, my message is always dedicated to the women and the men, actually. So, for the women, I think the most important thing is to really do what lights you up and to find ways in order to find that empowered version of yourself, to find that version where you are and you become the woman that you are proud to be. And that is where all this magic begins, of being confident, of finding your self-worth. It's this is it. This is really it. And to the men, I would like to say that it would be amazing if you can support the women in your life, whoever they are, your daughters, your wives, your colleagues, your bosses, your employees. If you can empower them to be more of who they are, so that they don't need to tap into this masculine version of themselves, but that they can be exactly who they are and appreciated as who they are, I think the world would be a completely different planet.
Dear viewers, we have come to the end of this show. Don't forget to join us next Saturday at the same time. Our show, Leadership and Innovation, has an educational, motivating, and innovative character. So if you want to invest on it, or if you want your service to get advertised on TV Alpse, you are welcome to do so. Together we serve for the better world. Thank you for watching, and all the best.